It's the Memorial Day edition of the Garden Show, and a lot of great questions, but still, the non-question is drought and how much water we need.
Yeah, we only got probably about a quarter of an inch here in Battle Creek, depending on where you're located at. We were better part of 4 inches behind for the month of May and almost 8 inches behind for the whole entire year. So you're going to have to keep watering those plants. No rain really indicated for the next week, so you definitely want to keep those flowers and the tomatoes and peppers and all that stuff well watered. Possibly going to get frost tonight, so you probably don't want to plant your garden plants until either Sunday or Monday. If you're planting things like peppers, tomatoes, anything like that, you want to put them on landscape fabric because that heats up the soil and they'll perform a lot better for you. Plus, it helps keep the weeds down so you don't have to weed as much.
A lot of questions about those warm weather crops with tomatoes potentially getting planted this weekend. I did have a question about eggplants as well.
Eggplants are a very warm season crop, and if you put those in, you definitely want to put those on landscape fabric. The guy that called had problems with flea beetles. Flea beetles attack. They love tomatoes. They love eggplants, and they will attack when the plant is under stress. So if you put it in a cold soil without landscape fabric, that plant is just going to sit there, and then the bugs are going to attack. So if you put it in, you want to put it in. Add some Miracle-Gro to it and water it regularly with that because they're a very heavy feeder of nitrogen, especially when they're young. So if you fertilize them well and put them on fabric, you'll have less problems with the bugs.
Did have a question about melons, which is right in your wheelhouse as well, and somebody was dealing with blight last year and trying to prevent it this year.
Yeah, probably either downy mildew or powdery mildew. She was getting yellow spots on the leaves, and that's usually an indication of downy mildew. You want to make sure you're not overhead watering those plants, especially late in the afternoon. You don't want that water to sit on the foliage. And you also want to spray with a fungicide, something like Doconil, starting about mid to late June. Spray that stuff as close to dark as possible because you want the fungicide on there during the nighttime hours when the disease is going.
Did have a question about aphids as well, and it wasn't directly about aphids, but it was about a bush that was trimmed back and was dealing with some issues.
Yeah, they had aphids on the burning bush, very common this time of year. Kind of makes the ends of the branches turn brown and shrivel up and die. The plant isn't going to be affected too much by that. You can spray the ends of those branches with water, and that'll probably knock a great majority of them off. Or if you want to use an insecticide, spray something like 8. Make sure to hit the undersurface of the leaves and maybe give the plant a little fertilizer, and it should pop right back.
And also realizing that we have some rodents that are starting to become really smart, especially with raccoons this time of year.
Yeah, raccoons do a lot of damage to your garden. They can tear down your corn, eat your melons, and things like that. So if you see them, you may want to have somebody come trap them.
Anything else we need to look into this week?
Well, the big thing is a lot of your stuff is about ready to get planted. Corn, it's a nice time to start planting your corn and some of those warmer season crops. So this is a good weekend to do it.
All right, sounds good. We'll do this all again next week to kick off June.
All right, we'll see you then.